Hello, lovely humans, and welcome to your May Astrology Forecast. I am recording this on April 25th because tomorrow I am getting on a plane to Peru for almost 2 weeks and will not be able to. I will be in the middle of the jungle when we hit May 1st, and so I wanted to make sure and record this and get this up so that you would have it. And I also wanted to talk a little bit more about why I am personally doing these astrology forecasts, because there are already so many astrologers out there that you can go and watch for predictions, that you can go and watch to see what's going to happen in the month. And I have a few recommendations for those people for you if you want to go and listen to the predictions. But what I am personally here to do, I work with much more personal astrology on a personal individual basis as opposed to the collective astrology. So my hope with these forecasts is that you learn how to actually feel for yourself these changing energies throughout the month. So the way that I'm going to run these forecasts is we are going to go through the days of the month together. So what I'd like you to do each time we come to these forecasts is I want you to have out your calendar, a notepad to write some notes, and I'm going to show you a couple of apps that I'd like you to have out as well. Now, before we jump in full force here, I just want to give a couple of updates of what is coming up. So, the reason that I'm doing astrology is because I have found it to be such an incredible tool for learning about you and learning about how to work with the energetics. So think about it this way, okay? I personally believe, my belief paradigm is that we are a mind, body, and spirit. We have a soul, a spiritual connection to God, a direct line. There are doctors and body workers and people that work with the physical body, okay, that's the body. There are counselors and therapists and psychiatrists that work with your mind. So your body is your physical vehicle that moves you around this earth. Your mind is actually meant to just be a data collection instrument, okay? It's like your thermometer that you put outside to read the temperature. Your mind is here to observe the world, to show you and tell you about the pieces and the parts. However, the way that a human being was designed, your mind is not actually meant to make all of the decisions for you. We use logic to be able to rationalize, to understand what's going on. However, if you make decisions from your soul, if you tap into your soul connection to the universe, your intuition, you're gonna have the most magical, amazing dream life. And I know because the majority of my life, I unknowingly lived in flow with my soul. Then, to teach me what it meant to not live in flow with my soul, I moved to Los Angeles. I went through this whole big journey. It was all a part of the plan. Now it all makes sense. During that time period of 5 years living in LA, I was just like racking my brain, like, why am I not living in flow? Why do things just feel so difficult? Now, there was also some crazy things going on in my astrology, which basically set up the perfect environment for me to learn these lessons so that I could learn how to have this, I mean, I would even call it an 8G connection, okay? I love to use the analogy of the connection with our soul in terms of, over the course of my life, I've seen how internet connections and phone connections have gotten stronger, right? So back in the day, I had the 2001 dial-up connection with my soul. That was, it took like 10 minutes for me to get online, and then you get this really pixely image, and you don't get to see the whole thing, but you have a little piece of it. But then years later, you upgrade, right? Right now we're at 5G, high-speed broadband. However, nowadays, with the spiritual technologies that we have access to, you can hook up to an 8G super, super, super high speed connection, and you can learn how to do that. And I am here to work with your soul to teach you how to strengthen those connections so that you live most in flow, harmoniously, the most synchronistic life as possible. And that's where the magic happens. Now, you have to learn how to trust in the unknown. You have to learn how to get in flow with that energy, go inwards and tap in. And so we can use astrology to read the changings of the time. We use astrology to learn how to get in tune with the different kinds of energy that there is, because there's this whole wheel, the zodiac sign of energy out there. So I am here to help teach you how to get in flow. I'm not necessarily going to give you the big predictions. Go to David Palmer, the Leo King, for that. He's a master at that. The other two astrologists that I recommend are Pam Gregory, she's wonderful, and Robert Phoenix, 11th house. I'll show you those guys here in a minute. But I am here to help teach you how you can get in line with your soul, how you can start reading your energetic field and body. And so that is what we are going to focus on in these forecasts. So you can kind of look at your chart and then understand what's going on and understand how it's going to affect you personally. So if this all sounds interesting to you, in May, I am launching my very first mastermind that I am super excited about. It's going to be so much fun. It is called the Committed to Mastery Meditation Mastermind. And this is going to be an 8-week mastermind where I am going to teach you how to go deep into meditation. So ask yourself right now, have you ever really had the experience in meditation of the floor dropping out from under you and all of a sudden you're flying in the room? Have you ever had the experience of feeling an overwhelming sense of love? Overwhelming. I can't even put into words how amazing this feeling feels like because it's so incredible. There aren't words to describe it. And then there's all sorts of other crazy sorts of experiences which are truly just tapping into other dimensions, other sources of information that we have access to that you have to go within to discover and to tap into, to connect with. And you don't need psychedelics to do this stuff, by the way. I know it's amazing that there's this huge movement of psychedelics happening right now, and it's happening because Mother Gaia, our Earth, which we are a part of, we are like her neural network. All the movements, right? In our body, we have our nervous system, and that is how information and energy gets moved throughout our body. Everything in the universe is a reflection. You can reflect up to bigger perspectives, which are the planets. You reflect down to us, and then you reflect down even further into the little systems of the body. And we, as humans, are just a smaller piece, a smaller system within a much bigger system. So, in this mastermind, we are going to learn and practice how to get into a deep meditative state and how to strengthen that connection with your soul. Now, just remember, whenever you are learning something new, these things don't happen overnight. And this is why it's amazing to come together with a group to tap into the energy of the collective group. It's like when you're learning, like for me, learning yoga, learning rocket yoga, which is a pretty like high level version of yoga, or when I was learning my instrument. You don't just go from playing hot cross buns to playing a Mozart concerto overnight. It takes time, but it takes commitment. It takes showing up for yourself. It takes going to your lessons with your teacher, learning the new skills, going home and practicing them, coming back, checking in with your teacher, checking in with your group. How are the rest of the group? How are they evolving? You know, can I talk to them and ask them questions? You've already hit this road marker. When did you get there? How did you get there? So this mastermind is all about evolving together, developing these connections together, with the hope that by the end of the 8 weeks, you will have one of these just incredible experiences. So if this all sounds interesting to you, if you want to learn how to glow, then I'm going to drop the link in the bio below. Go to this form. This talks about the container, what's involved. I'm also, as part of this container, you are going to get a personal astrology reading and a human design reading. If you've already had an astrology reading from someone who I would consider a really amazing astrologer, like David Palmer, for example, then I have a whole lot of different astrology readings, right? Because we use astrology for different things. So if you're like, I already know my astrology really well, then we can do a love reading. We can do a planning ahead session. There's lots of different ways that we can use it if you've already had, like, if you already have a good understanding of your astrology reading. But it is mostly for me. With this group, I'm only going to have 33 spots, okay? That's it. I'm not offering any more. Only 33. I want to keep it a tight-knit group so that we can really dive into this work. So I need to get to know you so that I can know how to best help you. So the astrology reading is for you, and it is also for me to be able to personally guide you through this process. And you're also going to get a very special bonus I'm offering is a one-on-one meditation session with me where we will go into you and your soul's connection, and we'll look at what's going on and see how we can best get you connected faster. And that will be really fun. So go to this form, fill this form out. There are some questions you'll answer. And then at the bottom, there's a link here. You will go and schedule a brief call with me, and I will tell you more about the mastermind, answer any questions you may have, and we'll get you all set up in here. So because I am leaving tomorrow, April 26th, and I will be in the jungles and out of range for 2 weeks, the majority of the sessions to speak with me about this are in May. So go ahead and book your session now. This starts the first week of June. I'd like to have this group in and ready to go, and we are going to get locked and loaded for the month of June. And part of the reason I'm mentioning this is because in the month of May, this month is all about loading the rocket and launching the rocket, so to speak, because we have so much energy moving into Aries this month. We're going to feel a huge shift in energy. So right now, before we begin, make sure that you have your calendar out so that you can mark some of these dates, make a few notes about what you might feel on some of these dates. Also, this is what I recommend having as we're looking at this, okay? If you have not yet looked at your astrology chart, the free way to do that, let me just come over here, come back here again. The free way to do that is to go to astro.com, okay, to astro.com up here. And on the homepage, you're going to scroll down, look for free horoscopes, charts, and calculations. You're going to come here, and you're going to click on this first one, chart drawing extended. And, okay, so this is me. So let's see if we were doing a new one. Let me just see what this one says. Okay, here we go. Go to extended chart selection. Okay, go to extended chart selection. You're going to stay here, round, natal chart wheel. Default style is fine. And then if you ever want to do a reading, and I can show you about some of these extra settings that we can add in and look at, that's cool, but you will fill in your birth data. Like if I were to add a new person here, you fill in this information, hit continue, put in what you want to see in the chart, and then you have your chart pulled up. Okay, so have your chart pulled up. If you want an app, a great app on your phone, I highly recommend Astro Gold. I think that it is, let's see, I think it's like $15 for the iPhone. How much is it? Does it say? This is what it looks like. And I actually don't know. I have it already. So I think it's like 15 bucks if you go to the App Store. And download this on your phone, and then you can look at your chart and the chart of the day every day. It's very cool. So if you really want to start getting into this stuff, I highly recommend downloading Astro Gold, and you can save charts in there too. And then the last thing that I recommend having, which sometime later in May, I'm going to be running a moon webinar to teach you about how to read and feel the cycles of the moon. That is the easiest first place to start when learning how to start to feel energies and learning how they affect you personally, because all of these planetary energies affect us on a very unique individual level. So the other thing that I recommend having is a moon calendar. And I will show you, I use this app here on my phone. I just took a screenshot of it. It's called the Moon Calendar Moon Phases. There are tons of moon calendar phase apps out there. So as long as it has the cycles of the moon showing the waxing and waning, and what I like about this one is it has a calendar that just shows all of the zodiac signs, because the moon changes signs every 2 days, about 2 to 2.5 days. So it's nice to just be able to see the whole month and see where it is. Sometimes I just look at that and go, oh, on a certain day, okay, I'm going to feel kind of this way. So those are the 3 things: your calendar, your astrology chart, an app if you want to go that far, and a moon calendar of some sort. Now, you could just also go online and pull up one of these calendars, keep it up. I found this mooncalendar.astroseek.com, and it shows the same thing. It shows when the moon is going to be in each sign and all of that. So those things. And, okay, let's jump in here. So, this month, here we go. I am going to start on April 28th because this is where we actually see a pretty big shift in energy that gets us going here at the beginning of this month. A couple of big themes to know for the month of May. This month is loading the rocket and then shooting off the rocket, essentially. So the first half of the month, we're gonna feel this slowdown But the first half of the month is going to feel really fast, and then it's going to feel like it stops once we get into Mercury retrograde. So this is going to be a very long moon cycle this month, right? Some cycles move really fast and you're like, oh my God, like we're at the end of April already. But some months are going to feel long, and this is going to be one of those. Because we've been in all of this strong, like, emotional, sea-like, Neptunian, like, just listen to the sound of my voice. That's what all of this Aquarius and Pisces energy that we've had for many months now has felt like, just kind of like lost at sea. We're going to feel a huge shift out of that into more earth energy and fire energy. But it's going to be a little bit of a loose cannon. It's going to be like if you just randomly went into a field and randomly put fireworks everywhere, and you didn't know how all of the wires were connected, and you went ahead and hit the button to shoot them all off. You didn't realize that you hadn't timed them nicely. You hadn't built this beautiful fireworks show. You accidentally crossed all the wires and you shot them off all at once. That's kind of what this month is going to feel like going into Aries season. We could, in the world, see some big kabooms whenever Jupiter moves into Aries, whenever Mars moves into Aries. Aries, you have to understand with the energy there. It's represented by the animal of the ram, okay? So a ram puts its head down. It doesn't look where it's going. It knows before it launches where it's going, but then it puts its head down and it just runs, right? And it rams into whatever's ahead of it, but it has no periphery of what's going on around it. So you have to be careful with all of this energy, Aries energy, especially because we have Chiron in Aries, which is highlighting our wounds of where are we immature, right? Even on Earth. Where are we immature with how we are treating Mother Gaia? Where are we immature with how we are treating other people, our relationships? Where are we immature about where are we wounded? Not just immature, but where are we wounded with how we have been interacting with other people, and perhaps just like shooting our mouths off at people, and now that energy is coming back at us. It would be like throwing the boomerang, right? You throw it and then it comes back to you. That's how energy works. There is always an equal and opposite reaction. And Chiron is here to highlight that. And here on April 28th, as you can see, I hope you can see, can you see my mouse moving around? Yeah, you can. Okay. We can see here that the moon on April 28th is coming over Chiron. Remember, the moon is a big mirror. It reflects back to us the energy of that time. So on April 28th, it's going to be reflecting to us these wounds of this Aries energy, this too much fire energy, too much just spouting out without thinking about the consequences sort of energy. And that's where we're starting. We're also getting ready for Pluto here in Capricorn. Finally, there's nothing else in Capricorn. We went through all this time period where all the nodes were there, all the planets were there, everything was just crumbling. And now the last, it'd be like if the earthquake hit and you were watching, Pluto in Capricorn has been watching the earth shake, watching the pieces starting to crumble off, and as it leaves Capricorn here, the whole cliff just falls off into the ocean. That is the energy of Pluto finishing in Capricorn here. Let's see, what else for this month? We're going to talk about here how Mercury is slowing way down. It's going to come into Gemini and then it's going to retrograde. Communication will be interesting in the month of May. The end of the month is going to feel extreme. We'll get there. And I'll just mention, okay, as we go through this month, We right now have all of the planets on this one side. Like you're looking at, I have this, I have a bunch of the asteroids and things, which are the minor details that as an astrologer I look at to fill in and shade in. It'd be like, you know, if a little kid was making a water painting, they just used the base colors, right? And you could tell that it was a flower, they had painted a dog, but Monet comes in and shades in all of the little intricate details. And as an astrologer, when I use the asteroids and such, that's all of the details. So you can see that all the energies are hanging on this one side. This stuff is just asteroid stuff. This is just the minor stuff. All the major stuff, though, is over here. So it's feeling pretty heavy. It's feeling like the scale is like this, but like pretty extreme. So we are moving from where all of the energy was sitting here in Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, and now it's shifting a quarter into Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. And we're going to feel that pretty strongly this month. This is the ending. This is the Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces is the end of the zodiac. It is what happens where we discover how we relate to other people and systems and the universe. And now all the energy is shifting into the beginning energies, the starting off, the planting of the seeds, the new seasons. So we're going into huge new beginnings, but unfortunately there's still pieces. Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn is still over here. The mountain still has to crumble off before we can build a new mountain. Yeah. Okay. So let's look here. Let's jump in. So April 28th here, Moon in Chiron, as I already mentioned. April 29th. So this is later. I'm running the charts here at 11 a.m. But Pluto does retrograde here on the 29th later in the day. And a retrograde, by the way, if you don't know, also, I'll explain this first. So a retrograde is where in relation to Earth, because the planets always keep spinning, right? They don't actually stop and go backwards. But from our perspective on Earth, a retrograde is when a planet looks like it stops and goes backwards, because we're moving faster towards it than it's moving forward. So just visibly it looks like it stops, and that's what we feel from this perspective. We feel like the energy of that planet stops. So Pluto is huge transformational energy. It's transformation that you're not going to be able to predict. Like I can easily predict if I plant an orange seed that it is going to blossom and bloom and grow into an orange tree. This is like if I was given a bag of seeds and I didn't know what seeds those were, and I went into the garden and planted them all, and I just had to sit and wait and see what happens. That's Pluto transformation. And I didn't know when I planted this garden that a ginormous ice storm was going to come through and ruin my garden for a year. But then the next year it was going to be amazing and beautiful, and that's what happened here in Texas in the last 2 years. So that is Pluto level of transformation. Okay, so it's going to go retrograde. So we're going to feel like during this retrograde, whatever we have already set into motion, whatever new things you're manifesting, whatever new projects you've gotten going, those, especially projects that are for your future, that are going to help you evolve and get to where you want to go, to evolve into the next version of you, those things are going to hang in their process for a while. There's not going to be not a whole lot of new opportunities are going to come in. This last 2 months has been about finding the new opportunities. Now it's time to work on those opportunities in this upcoming season. So new stuff has come in. Now it's time to do something with the new stuff. Okay. Also, we have Mercury here hanging at 29 degrees of Taurus. So with our communication, we've been focusing a lot on money. We've been focusing a lot on making sure to surround ourselves with the people who share our values, questioning our values. Now, where our mind is going to go, Mercury represents the mind, and communication is going to go into facts. And Gemini represents fact. It represents truth, what is. And it's dualistic, right? We live in a polarized, dualistic world. So there's always going to be two sides of the story. So it is going to come into Gemini, which is where the nodes were, right? These moon's nodes were all of last year. So Mercury is going to go back, and whatever you were changing last year, whatever you were seeking to discover last year and find as truth for you, find as fact, this is going to get re-highlighted here in the next month. That stuff is going to come back up in a new way. Perhaps you're going to see a new side of it. Perhaps you're going to learn the next level of it. But it's going to get reignited here as Mercury comes back into Gemini. So we will feel a shift. So again, as I'm pointing these things out, I want you to take little notes on these days. Ooh, I should notice a shift from the 29th to the 30th in my mind, in my heart, in my body. And I was thinking a lot about this, and now suddenly I'm thinking a lot about this. Why? Because these are forces of gravity. The planets have gravitational pulls that are acting on you. It is the same thing as, you can't tell me this is gravity, right? The pen going up and falling into my hand, there is a gravitational force that is pushing it back down to my hand. The planets are working on you. Whether you know it or not, you can become aware of it, just like you become aware of the seasons. When we go into summer, you're not going to still wear your winter coat. You're going to change so that you are in flow with the seasons. Well, astrology represents the energetic changes of seasons. You have, again, the Trinity, the body, the mind, and the soul. The mind has to change how it thinks, right? Let's talk about this in terms of time. It's time and forces. When you're surrounded by new people, you get new ideas, right? And that's where you're going to change your mind, when you learn new pieces of information. In terms of time and timing, we feel time, we understand time through our mind, through calendars. That's why you have your calendar in front of you right now. You learn how to read a clock. You understand the numbers, right? Okay, that is connected to the body. So we have the physical body of Earth, the changing of seasons, the changing of temperature. That is how things change over time in terms of the body. The body feels the temperature changes, the weather changes. Energetically, we learn how to feel these different aspects of the zodiac, which directly relate to the seasons. For example, Aries is spring. Aries and Taurus is spring. It's new beginnings, fresh. Things are coming up out of the ground. So we can energetically learn how to feel that and go with it. We want to be in flow with these things. We don't want to be wearing our winter coats in spring. Makes no sense. So energetically learn how to get in flow with this energy, and life will go much better for you. You wouldn't tell me that it's stupid to read a calendar, right? That helps you in life. Same thing here. You got to learn how to energetically read what's going on at a given time, because these are gravitational forces that are acting on you, whether you want to recognize them or not. You can either learn how to read it or ignore it, get pummeled by it. It'd be like if I had the option, okay, if there was a hailstorm outside I had the option of either going out and physically walking through the hailstorm, or I could go get in my car and drive through the hailstorm so that I didn't get pummeled by the hailstorm. That is the difference in learning to read astrology and not read astrology, okay? I hope that that is clear enough. So, okay, I get jazzed about this stuff. I love talking about this stuff. So, April 29th, Pluto goes retrograde. Now, here is a huge day to mark on your calendar, okay? There's going to be certain days where I say, please put a big star. This is the new moon in Taurus. You see that here, the moon and the sun meet up. That's whenever we have a new moon. It's funny that we have Eros here, which represents like our erotic desires. So don't be surprised if some of these things really get highlighted, since it's right here with the sun, like in you internally. And it is getting very, very close to Uranus, which is the planet of our rebellious energy. If you look at your own chart and you find where you find the house, which is the area of your life, and then you find the personality characteristics, which is the zodiac, that is where you are going to feel most rebellious in life. And right now, Uranus is hanging out in our core values, our standards, the sorts of people that we hang around, our money, our belief systems, our self-worth. It is just like blowing up those things and giving you, it's being very rebellious. So if you might have been, it'd be like watching the kid who was like super uptight and nitty picky, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I've had my spiritual awakening and I'm gonna be free now and I don't care about cleaning my room or whatever anymore. That's Uranus. So on this day, we have a ginormous, it's a partial solar eclipse, however, energetically, because we have this stack here of the moon, the sun, Uranus, and the north node, all highlighting this Taurus energy. That solar eclipse is going to be massive. So just be prepared. Pull up your chart and look at, okay, where is Taurus in my chart? Where is my self-worth, my value systems? Where in the houses is it tied to? For me, for example, actually this chart like represents me pretty well because I'm a Cancer rising, and for me it is groups of people. My self-worth, what I value greatly is being around people who share the same values as me. So for me right now, this is highlighting I have to be around people that share the same values. Otherwise, like, life just won't work. Life won't be fun. For you, maybe it's your one-on-one relationships. Maybe it's your home life. Do you feel good in your home life? So whatever area of life Taurus is in your chart is about to get rocked by this. Like, if you haven't done a good spring cleaning in this area of your life, it's going to get rocked, and it is going to tear out anything that is no longer serving you, whether you like it or not. It may be painful. This stuff doesn't have to be if you learn how to get in flow with it. But I'm just warning you now, this is going to be a ginormous eclipse, okay? April 30th. Mark it down. I even feel that. I feel that in my heart as I speak it out loud. Okay, so then these first couple of days will kind of settle into this energy. We have Venus here. By the end of the day, it's going to get to 29 degrees of Pisces. It's felt really good in this Pisces energy this month because it is exalted here in Pisces, and then it's going to move into Aries. Firepower. And the moon meets the north node here. Okay. Going on, so here we go. By the end of May 2nd, Venus will move here into Aries by the end of the day. It's going to be interesting. When the moon conjuncts Mercury here, we are going to be able to reflect on whatever we just experienced on April 30th in this solar eclipse. So you're going to be able to sit and think like, What do I need to change in life? What did I just go through in the last couple of days? And it's also going to be a good day to reflect on what happened last year. What have you changed since then? What has upgraded since then? It's going to be a good day to do that. It's also, this would be a really good day because Mercury now would be in its home sign here of Gemini. It's going to be a good day to have a conversation with a friend about these things. Like call someone and have someone to have a sounding board about these ideas and what you're feeling on this day. Good conversation day. Okay, we keep moving. May 4th, Sun conjuncts Uranus, so this is going to highlight this rebellious energy big time on this day. We could see like out in the world, oh man, people, figures who are like trying to do new things. We'll see on both sides, like, you know, the people that are putting all the restrictions and stuff, and then the people that are like fighting for their freedoms and stuff. We're gonna see people just like spouting out about their beliefs and what they want on this day. It'll be interesting. Okay, and it's fueled by Eros here, needing that deep primal desire for something. Okay, so then here, May 6th, this, put a big star on this and write build-up day. It is a really powerful day for harmony, for feeling harmony, if you know how to hang in the energy, okay? So Jupiter and Neptune for this last month have been in their home signs of Pisces, which has been amazing. I hope you all have been receiving the gifts in this last month, letting them come in, the magical gifts, the magical synchronicities. Like, for example, this whole Peru trip and then landing in Miami, I booked my plane ticket coming back into Miami, like just having this intuitive hit. I had no idea what would end up happening in Miami, but it just told me, don't go back to Dallas, stay in Miami. And then boom, this whole, like, I didn't even do anything. Just people started calling me and saying, hey, will you be in Miami on these days? Can we meet up in Miami here? And it just all magically happened. I didn't have to do a thing except follow my intuition and listen to it and do what it says. So this is the last day to, or kind of the last time, because Jupiter will hang here for a little while, to soak it all in. And it's just, man, it's got like Jupiter is sextiling Pluto here. So again, whatever needs to be kicked out of your life, it's going to keep bringing in the gifts to say, this is where you're headed. Okay. These are the possibilities that are here for you. Go towards that. And now Venus has moved into Aries. So it's going to be an energetic shift from the magical, dreamy energy of Pisces to the very carnal, primal energy of Aries, right? Big shift in what those two things feel like. This is Venus. If you picture, have a picture in your mind, Pisces is Venusian energy and Aries is Mars warrior energy. And Venus is wanting those things, so big shift there. And we've got a lot of, I won't dig into, at some point, let me know if you want me to explain more of like the trines and the squares. I'll touch on some of those, but just know with these angles here that are going on, which is how the planets relate and either work together or not work together, work in opposition or square to each other, like pulling on each other, pulling against each other's needs. I can go into that, but I really want you to understand where the energetic shifts are going to happen. Okay, so May 6th, tune into this energy. So, same thing, okay? We keep going through the month. May 8th and 9th, we have this Mars sextiling the Sun here. So this is going to be where your Sun energy, which is how we shine in the world, it is our our main source of fuel, our main source of creativity. It is us creating our own reality, right? And Mars is our firepower energy. It's our doing energy. It's also kind of immature. It needs to be guided by the other planets to be able to use that energy constructively. But we have this really beautiful day, the 8th and the 9th, to create, to work on creating whatever it is that you're building. On the 9th, so as the moon has been going here. Which day? Yeah, okay, let me go back to the 6th. So on this harmonious day, really quickly, that we talked about. So it is this harmony day with the moon. Again, the moon is the reflection throughout the month. It's our moods, it's our emotions. So we have to learn how to read our emotions. They are our guideposts, our signs to kind of show us what's coming up. But we have to be careful not to react from them. So there will be certain days in the month where we will feel emotionally a push-pull between those things. And this will be one of those days when the moon opposes Pluto. This could either be a really easy day for you if you've already done a lot of this clean out, or if you haven't, and you are directly seeing the moon is in your face, the mirror is in your face saying, you have dirt all over your face, and it is squaring Chiron and opposing Pluto. So it's going to either show you you're either really nice and clean now, or you're really dirty and you need to take a bath. Okay, and then we get to, as the moon keeps moving, to the 9th here, now it is opposing Saturn. And Saturn is learning the lessons. So not only seeing where the transformation needs to happen, but Saturn directly shows you your limits, your boundaries of where you need to push past, what you need to learn to get to where you need to go. It's Dad holding your hand and teaching you how to do things. So again, this will either be a harmonious day for you or a kind of tough emotionally day for you, especially because Leo wants to be super fun. It wants to have fun and be creative. And so if you haven't set up places in your life to have fun, old grumpy Saturn in Aquarius, which is kind of cold, to be honest. Aquarians are cool. They're calm and collective. They're really interesting people and beings, but I wouldn't necessarily use the word fun, like joyful. So the moon will be like, I want to do this, but it could be like the little immature kid where Dad says, no, we got to clean up your room today before you can have fun. Then you can have fun. Okay, so May 10th, this is like a minor day. This is when Mercury goes retrograde. So this is when our communication was flowing. It's easy to have conversations with people. Technology's kind of been a mess with Saturn and Aquarius, to be honest. So if I know I've been having a lot of tech issues, it's going to get worse here. Sorry to let you know that, but just be prepared for tech issues once Mercury goes retrograde, this go around especially. And gosh, with all of the Pisces energy, especially with Jupiter hanging at 29 degrees, if you don't know how to spiritually be in tune with your soul and be in tune with the flow of energy, if you're trying to go against the current, this is going to be a really rough day for you and a really rough go around with Jupiter here. It will throw a lot of confusion. You won't understand all this. It would be like a download of way too much information, and you don't understand it. It's like, I can't comprehend all of that. That's what this day is going to feel like if you don't know how to spiritually get in line. And that's why I'm running this mastermind, okay? So if this is resonating with you, go and fill out the form below. The link is below. And let's talk about if spending 8 weeks really diving into your meditation practice and strengthening your meditation practice would help you through the end of this year. Okay, so Yeah, on this May 10th day, it's going to bring up anything from last year that hasn't been resolved. It's going to be a day where it's going to be hard to know where to put your focus. The moon is going to be here in Virgo, making you feel very picky about things. You're going to want to like clean up things, but you won't know where to begin, essentially. It's going to be a kind of an odd day. Okay, then here we go. Ready? Ready, ready, ready? Have you written this one down on your calendar? May 11th. Boom. Jupiter moves into Aries, okay? This would be the day, if we're going to see any big kabooms on Earth, this is going to be one of those days. And I'm talking like on a world stage sort of thing, especially because we have the sun now just 2 degrees away from the North Node. Oh boy. And now we have Jupiter, Venus, and Chiron all getting stacked here in Aries with Mars on the way. So just watch out for this day. Let's wait and see what happens. Okay, we've got on the 12th moon opposing Jupiter. It's just these days are going to feel a little rough. If you're not spiritually, if you don't have that connection, the moon is going to be seeking balance, where all this Aries energy is going to be like, am I going? Am I doing? So you better feel harmonious and balanced in what you're doing, or you're going to fall right off the balance beam. It's like watching on the Olympics. You're watching and you can just tell that the gymnast was not mentally and emotionally centered before they do some sort of like spring or leap right onto the board. And you can see and feel when they're not centered, and you know they're going to fall off and you don't want them to. You got to get in balance before you go up on the balance beam. Okay. So May 13th, God, like the first half of this month is just stacked with huge alignments. It's going to be amazing if you are in tune, okay? And it's not going to be amazing if you're not in tune. May 13th, we have the Sun and the North Node meeting. So the North Node represents our lessons we have to learn. So we have all this energy breaking down these old systems, breaking down financial systems. That's Uranus and Taurus, right? The rise of crypto, learning how to use money in a new way, literally. And we're going to have the Sun here highlighting those lessons on that day. So if there has been a big kaboom a few days prior, like why that kaboom happened is going to be majorly felt on this day. And the whole world kind of waking up and going, oh my God, like we have to change this now. It's going to feel like that on this day. Okay, then, so we have the Sun working here. Then the next day, we have Venus and Chiron meeting, and it does meet up later in the day. Sun square Saturn, just these lessons. Like this whole beginning of the month is about what lessons do you still need to learn and feel. You're going to feel it strongly with all this Aries energy. This 22 number has come up so strongly so many times, like when Neptune was over here at 22 degrees. Yeah, this 22 number is powerful this year. And 22, it is the master architect number. It is the number of building something using your spiritual intuition. That's what 22 represents. So we are building our new Earth. So I'm not surprised, like when we had February 22nd, all these big 22 numbers coming up, building the new Earth. Okay, so we keep moving, bam, then the 15th. It's just like bam, bam, bam. We have a full moon in Scorpio, and it is with the South Node. It'll be an intense one because the moon is the only thing over here on this side of the zodiac reflecting all that's happened over there. So that's going to be an intense one. I wouldn't be using substances or going out, and just be careful on that day. I've just been warning about full moons this whole year. Just be really, really careful on full moons, who you're hanging around, where you go out. I've been choosing to spend my full moons in just because the energies are so extreme. It's not that you can't control yourself, but you can't control others. So don't put yourself in situations where because of others, you'll get into trouble. Okay, we also have on this day, which is cool. Let's see, let's move up to it. Okay, so we've got this. May 16th, the moon is opposing this Mercury retrograde. That's going to feel uncomfortable. Sag is also a very fun-loving energy, whereas Mercury is like, I want to find all the facts to things. I need to know the things before I build the thing. And Sag is like, I already know what the thing looks like. let's go do the thing. Those two pieces of the puzzle. But we need all the pieces of the puzzle for life, right? That's why we have this whole beautiful zodiac. Okay. Then on the 17th, this is when Mars conjuncts Neptune. Ooh, this is going to be a great day to meditate. I'll be really excited about this day. Really powerful day. So note that, see what you feel, and meditate on this day. Like, that's my challenge for you. On the 17th, meditate on this day and see what happens. And the moon trines Chiron and Venus here too. So the blue angles that we see here are very harmonious aspects. They are the aspects that are working for us if we get in flow with them. Okay, moon square Jupiter on the 18th. Yeah, this old Capricorn energy, the old systems that are breaking down, are going to be squaring and pulling against the new energy that is birthing. This energy still feels young, it still feels naive compared to the old systems, but something's got to be done about it. Okay, then the 19th. This will be a really powerful day because now we have the sun trining Pluto exactly. So this is where we see the light at the end of the tunnel. And while the systems fall down, this will be a day where we will get a glimpse of what is coming ahead. If you know how to tune in, again, this is where meditation is so, so important. Learning to read and feel your energetic body, feel what's coming, because each of you have your own unique clair gifts, clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance. So you need to learn how to turn those on and boost them to get through this time period smoothly. And that's why I'm running my mastermind, so that we can turn all of those up for all of you. And you can learn in your own way how to read all of this energy. So this is a very powerful day. Could be some sort of an uncomfortable day if you can't read that energy, but if you can, it'll be a great day. The 20th is when the moon crosses over Pluto. Again, another reflection. Where is the dirt in the mirror? And then it trines the sun and Mercury. It sextiles Jupiter here. So again, very harmonious day if you know how to use it. Okay. The 21st, Sun moves into Gemini and conjuncts Mercury. So we're in this Mercury retrograde. Communication through this whole period is going to feel off. It's going to feel stuck. It's going to feel like just miscommunication happening a lot. And the sun hitting Mercury this day will highlight it. It's gonna be interesting. So just mark that day, see what happens, especially with communication. Then if we keep going, we get to the 23rd. This is the final buildup. We have Mars now sitting at 29 degrees Pisces. Again, another day. Soak in all the gifts that Pisces has brought you this whole last few months. Mercury falls back into Taurus on this day. So we've got Mercury at 29 degrees, Mars at 29 degrees. Pluto has been sitting here at 28 degrees. It's like all of this buildup on 29 degrees days. You feel buildup before it moves and shifts. And then finally here, the 24th, this is another huge day to mark. Moon, let's see here. Yeah, this is like the loading of the rocket day. Yeah. So we have the moon crossing over Neptune. So another great day to meditate. Venus exactly sextiles Saturn. Big lessons to be learned. Jupiter sextiles the Sun, Mercury sextiles Mars, Mars sextiles Pluto. This is setting up a huge divine moment on this day. Please mark May 24th. See what has set up in my life. What do I feel is coming? What do I just know is coming? And you just gotta trust and follow your intuition and let it happen. Okay? So this is the loading of the rocket day. Then boom, another boom day, May 25th, Mars enters Aries. So we went from having a little trio of Jupiter, Chiron, and Venus, all here in Aries. This would be like if you went into a jazz club, okay? And there was a trio. There was a bass, a saxophone, and a guitarist. And then all of a sudden, once Mars comes into the picture, boom, you've got a full like jazz band, like full old style band on stage blasting in your face. This is what this day is going to feel like, because now Neptune is the only one hanging out in Pisces. Big day. Okay, so we move forward. The planets keep moving. We get to May 28th. The moon conjuncts Uranus here. So the moon is going to pass over all this energy. It's going to reflect and build all of this energy, especially when it meets Uranus, the rebellious energy. And Venus moves back into Taurus. She's going to be really happy here when she gets to the 28th and she gets to go back into her home sign of Taurus. This is going to be like, aha. Like Mars, being with Mars was exhausting. It'd be like hanging out with that person that is so much fun. They're so high energy, but then you finish the vacation, you're like, oh my God, I'm just ready to go home and I'm ready to like have a little bit of space from that person and be back in my home, take my baths, like do whatever makes me feel good. She's gonna feel so good when she gets back into Taurus here. And we've got this Taurus energy stacked too, doing what makes you feel good. Even if you feel like the rebel doing it, do it. It's going to be better for everyone if you get in touch with your soul and you listen to it. Okay, May 29th, we have Mars and Jupiter conjunct. Yeah, this expanding whatever Mars is bringing in. So we'll just have to see, like in the world and in your personal life, where do you need to take action? That is what this day will highlight. And then the 30th, we get a new moon here in Gemini. Luckily, it's not with all this Taurus energy anymore, so it'll feel a little less intense. It'll be like, okay, I can relax for a minute to see what's coming next in this next cycle. And then we will begin, we have the last day of the month, and then we'll begin a new month of June. We'll talk about June once we get there, but this month is action-packed, okay? Huge month. Please note these dates on your calendar. And again, if you are interested, come back to this link, fill this out, book a quick call with me. If meditation has been something that has really been calling to you, if you have been getting signs from your intuition like, hey, you need to connect with me stronger, this is the time to do it. Do it now before we get the rest of the year with all the Aries energy, with the conjunction of the North Node and Uranus coming up. As Jupiter and Mars move towards those things too, there is going to be some crazy things happening the rest of this year. It's not going to get any easier or like you're not going to feel any more certainty in the world. I'm sorry to say, it's just going to get crazier throughout the year. It's going to get faster, right? It is like if you were learning how to drive a race car and you're going to go around the track a couple of times at 20 miles an hour to learn where the turns are, to learn how to handle the car. You start at 20 miles an hour. Then, once you learn how to read the track, how to handle the car, then you can drive at 80, 100 plus miles an hour and go really fast with it. All this time period is about is learning how to get in flow, because everything is moving faster. It's not bad. It doesn't necessarily mean it's chaos, but it's chaos if you can't be in flow with it, if you can't feel it. So this mastermind is all about getting in flow with it, getting in tune with it. And look, it's 12-12 right now. The angel numbers are working with us, and that's creativity. 12, 1, 2 equals 3, the number of creation. So if this is calling to you, please book a call with me. Let's discuss if this would be a good mastermind for you. Again, there's only 33 spots. Let me know in the comments, what did you learn from this overview of the month? And as the month goes along, send me DMs on Instagram. Tell me, oh my God, you told me to write down that date and this happened, just like you said it would on that date. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Have a very happy May. It's going to be a very exciting time. I'm super excited to be heading to Peru tomorrow to soak in all of this energy, to call in some exciting new things coming up in this season, and I will see you all next month.